It's weird for technical people to be in front of camera, but I just want to say,
now this one they make me come outside every day. Anytime when they call me, I will rush come outside. We no get holiday.
our holiday is part of our daily routine, and we've embraced it.
I must say, the work is challenging, engaging, and interesting.
We are all families here at VOP, and we the technical crew.
For us, it's another day on the job.
But it's tough being away from family.
But the latter part of it is
we are here with the leadership of VOP Television Lagos. We do appreciate this opportunity to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to our viewers all over the world and admirers. Cheers.
Ẹ̀yin tèmi ní Nàìjíríà lókè òkun, mò ń kí yín fún Kérésìmesì ọdún yìí á yabo fún wa o. Gbogbo àlàrí bá ti ṣe tààrọ̀ náà gbégbá o. I wish my fans all over the world, in Europe, America, Australia, everywhere, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Catch ya next year.
As the year comes to an end, we want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for your hard work, dedication, and the positive vibe you bring to Voice of the People every day. From all of us on the HR, we would like to say Merry Christmas, a happy, prosperous, and healthy New Year. Thank you.
This is to wish you a wonderful, spirit-filled, and Merry Christmas from Matthew Ugunso.
This year has been so amazing with you in it. And that's why we're saying from Voice of the People TV, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
You've been wonderful all through the year. And this is from us, Voice of the People Television, saying Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to you all.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here is to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
In a world where power shapes with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpillon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please the sport.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Because you deserve it. From all of us at Voice of the People TV, we only want to wish you a very merry, happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year ahead.
This year has been so amazing with you in it. And that's why we're saying from Voice of the People TV, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we love you.
This is to wish you a wonderful, spirit-filled and Merry Christmas from Matthew Ugunswada.
You've been wonderful all through the year. And this is from us, Voice of the People Television, saying Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to you all. See you at the top.
We are here with the leadership of VOP Television Lagos. We do appreciate this opportunity to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to our viewers all over the world and admirers. Cheers.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. But for us, the technical crew,
It's weird for technical people to be in front of camera, but I just want to say,
now this one they make me come outside every day. Anytime when they call me, I will rush come outside. We don't get holiday.
our holiday is part of our daily routine and we've embraced it.
I must say, the work is challenging, engaging, and interesting.
We are all families here at VOP and we the technical crew.
for us, it's another day on the job.
But it's tough being away from family.
But the latter part of it is that after the work,
We stay connected with video calls and messages. Merry Christmas.
On behalf of the technical crew, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, and here we are, job continues.
It's a beautiful Thursday morning and it is Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to you. I am Moses Humphrey.
And I'm Fina Okechukwu. I wish you a scintillating Christmas celebration and a prosperous New Year 2026 in advance. Yeah?
Scintillated?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
very well, very well. I'm Chukwu Makoro, and this is me wishing you very Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2026.
Well, I do hope you're getting ready to entertain your neighbors. In fact, I saw my neighbor on my way out and he was like, he's coming over later in the evening. And
You go before him.
I'll go before him. I'll go visit him first.
You go visit him first.
Okay. Well, it's exciting that we have a few people that still believe in, visiting people, visiting their neighbors. Our society has gotten to a point where neighbors just tend to avoid themselves, and it's really bad. It's not the African in us. It's not how we are made.
Yes, it's
how we
quite
are built.
enough. That's not how we were made, because I remember growing up, Christmas used to be a very lovely
There's always
period.
that, those trays,
the big tray that
coolers,
bring at family, and everybody will be speaking
Oh,
and all of
Could
that.
that be the reason? Can that also be the reason Hamatan disappeared this year? Because I'm
No,
yet
it's
to-
climate change.
Oh, it's climate change.
It's climate
Oh,
change.
better. 'Cause
Climate is changing. Society itself is changing.
More
dynamic.
changing, I do perceive Christmas.
Because I recall, I recall growing up,
Mm.
when high heel, were the thing, in vogue. And my father bought one particular one for me that time. And in the middle of the night, I'll wake up and I'll go and measure the
inches.
The inches and
the heel.
I wish
yeah.
this thing was bigger, because that time it was the bigger the better.
Okay.
The higher the better.
Okay.
High heel. Well, we used to call
Yeah.
it salamander. I mean, you guys, you didn't meet all of that.
Well. And today, Fina is looking a lot taller.
I'm just
when I walked into the studio and I said, Fifi, how come you're looking taller than
But if
me?
you take this is just, I think 2 inch or 1 inch. Take it
No,
out.
that's not
No,
too
that's
much.
It's 2 inches.
That's not too
It's
much.
not up to it's 2 inches.
2 inches is a lot.
Just okay, 1 inch. That's what I'm putting.
All right.
I'm tall on it, so don't let them.
Well, anyway, we are celebrating with you, celebrating Christmas, and we do appreciate you for always being with us, listening to us, watching us on television, on the television show, and our radio show as well. VOP is saying thank you for always being there. Now, regardless of the fact that we're celebrating Christmas, we also have things to talk about in Nigeria. So let's just dive into the conversation. Senators, reps, members fume as Akpabio allegedly orders NAS clerk to hide certified copy of Nigerian tax bill transmitted to Tinubu for assent. Interesting times, I must say. APC chieftain urges PDP to put its act together or merge with ADC. Well, and also, ASU, federal government finalized talks on 2009 agreement after years of renegotiation. Oh, well, these are the conversations on our table this morning. So while you dust off and clean up and cook and prepare for visitors and the family to celebrate, join us as we dissect these conversations?
Yes, as we dissect these conversations. Moses, I just hope that this final will be the final of the final of negotiations with us, because this is not the first time we are getting to hear this word, final. And I just hope that this will be the final.
It will be the final.
The final. Finally.
Finally. Oh, well. Well, those are the conversations that we have for you this morning. We'll take a break. There are other things Nigerians are talking about. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into those other conversations before you get to meet our guests for the major topics this Thursday morning, Christmas Day. Welcome on board. This is VOP This Morning.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not a spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing.
Oh, well, thank you very much for joining us again. This is VOP This Morning. Now, let's dive into the other conversations. Now, it borders on insecurity. It's not a pleasant one to have, but it happened, and so we have to talk about it. Suspected Boko Haram insurgents have detonated an improvised explosive device at a Jumat mosque in Gambaru Ward, around the customs area in the heart of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. The incident occurred at around 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, yesterday, less than 12 hours before, as Muslim worshippers were observing the Maghrib prayers. Although information on the incident remains sketchy, residents told a television station via telephone that many worshippers were either killed or injured. However, the police public relations officer in the state, ASP Nahum Daso, told journalists that from preliminary investigations, 5 persons have been confirmed dead so far, while about 35 others were injured. The blast has already created fear among residents, especially with the Christian community participating in the 2025 Christmas celebration. Security operatives have cordoned off the area to prevent further casualties and to allow preliminary assessment of the incident. Now, in another tragic development in Lagos, emergency responders yesterday evening battled a fire outbreak at a plaza known as the Great Nigeria Insurance House, located on Martin Street in Lagos Island. Another fire on Martin's Street, Lagos Island. The building, which serves as a warehouse for clothing materials, was reportedly engulfed at about 5 p.m., same time, basically, with the Borno State incident. Well, the Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Olufemi Osointolu, said that the fire emanated from the 4th floor of the plaza before escalating to other floors. Now, I'm not privy to any information of anybody being involved in that, where lives lost. Well, we don't know at this moment, at the time of filing in this report, but we'll, I hope not. I hope no life was lost, because you remember the one that happened, was it one of those, it was a bank shares that plaza.
Okay, UBA.
Was it UBA? No, it wasn't. It wasn't the UBA plaza.
No, it wasn't UBA plaza, but UBA has offices there. The one that happened somewhere around.
The one that happened
around
somewhere in
Mandela's
area. Yes. And
one of the
lives,
banks, I think UBA.
And people, and then in that video, the video that emanated, people were jumping from the window. There should be more than one exit in buildings. I think a lot of buildings don't adhere to that. More than one exit, and the exit should be wide enough for more than one person to pass in case of an emergency, in case there is, people are trying to run through. It's unfortunate that we have these issues happening, and the Maiduguri incident, the bomb blast, it's another unfortunate one. It happened some years back. It's always happened at about this time of the year. People gather to pray, Muslims gather to pray, Christians gather to pray, and some unscrupulous elements decide it's time to strike. Well, I do hope that our security agencies will do something to ensure that those that perpetrated this will be brought to book. I'm only speaking in hope, because we have a lot of insecurity. I mean, 2025 has been 1 year where we've seen insecurity escalate to an alarming level, and Nigerians are asking governments to do something. In fact, I think there was a confrontation between task force and residents of a particular area in Lagos, I think around the Airport Road area not too long ago, and I heard gunshots were fired at both ends, and I'm like, I mean, if the task force have guns, these other guys are non-state actors. These guys are just, people you see every day doing business, selling stuff. That means they also have guns. And it was troubling. It was troubling to me. Somewhere along the Airport Road. Well, the issue of insecurity just, troubles me. It's not something you want to, it's not what you want to start the Christmas Day conversation with, but unfortunately, I would say, for those that lost loved ones, I send my condolences, and I hope the government will do something. The government of Borno State will do something, and also for those that might have been affected in the fire incident, well, my condolences
I just
as well.
pray that the government will do something about it. Like you said, one of the thematic expressions, that dominated this year was insecurity and economic decline, unfortunately, probably politics, the back and forth in Rivers State and all of that. But talking about insecurity, it is strange that this is coming. And what worries me is the fact that this time around, we had a Christmas Day bombing somewhere in Mina. We had another World Christmas Day bombing somewhere in Ondo State. And now it is happening in a mosque. So what expression does that mean? It tells you that, they are trying to twist the narrative, to recreate the narrative that, look, it is clearly not Christian genocide. That Muslims also are even attacked in mosque and all of that. It's a dangerous trend. It is too dangerous that we don't even realize, we have become inured to the sight of blood, to the sight of death, to the numbers. Human beings have just become numbers, oh, how many people died? Look at what the police CP in Borno State said. Well, as investigations are going on, has confirmed 5 people already dead. But I think it is, and I do know that it will be more than that, you know, if you had a blast like that during a Jumat service. It's quite unfortunate. We have, like I said, it's one of the thematic, you know, areas that dominated discourse in Nigeria. Insecurity in all parts of the country. And unfortunately, the thing is creeping, you know, down to more like the whole country has been enveloped. No state is secure. No state can clearly say, we might have some states that are safe, but in all of these, there are pockets of violence, you know, here and there. And the violence has nothing to do with criminal law and enforcement. It has to do with terrorism, insurgency, kidnapping, and banditry. And this is a different form of violence, you know, that defines a state. Whether a state is failing, whether a state remains within the alert area of the first state index and all of that. The indicators are clearly different. And from the way we are traveling, Nigeria might, you know, just unravel into a first state in the coming months and in the coming days. It's quite unfortunate. And about the fire incident, you know, that engulfed the area, it's good that we are talking about here about life and insurance. It happened in a great insurance building, you know, and I hope that insurance company still exists, and it should be. If they do exist, it tells me that the building must have been properly insured. So, like Moses said, we should create exits and all of that. We have fire retardants and fire services that are, what do you call them again? You know, these hoses that are placed in strategic places. Does it look like they don't work or what? Because the first thing will have been to activate it.
It works. It depends on the individual.
So,
can you use it? Do we have the
so
knowledge
they should have training, you know, for people that reside in people that use those areas.
And those things should be serviced. A lot of them are not serviced.
Some of them are not serviced. Yes. They are there, and they should have muster points too. You know, the safest area so that people can gather and they are evacuated from that.
And I think another thing that companies should do is to have drills.
Yes,
you know,
drills.
Have drills like
regularly,
regular drills, so people become familiar with how to move around if there's a fire incident.
Yes, when I get in an airline and they start, you know, showing you exit point, and somebody asks, doesn't mean that they want us to have an accident in this. I said, no. Mentality. You know, but sometimes accidents don't happen.
Yeah.
They do happen. So it's better to be prepared all the time. That's one of the slogans of the Boy Scout. Be prepared always. So, like Moses said, we need to conduct drills from time to time, you know, especially for people who use those buildings as on everyday basis, on a daily basis. It's quite unfortunate. My heart goes out to the families that lost their loved ones, unfortunately. That is what it has become for them, especially during this Yuletide period. It's quite unfortunate.
Chikuma, when you talked about the Christmas bombing in Niger State, that happened at St. Teresa Catholic Church in Madala. So many people died. It just, you know, it painted the picture, because I could recall I was somewhere in Niger then, and then my uncle was among the people that went there to, you know, do the rescue. So I was like, what is really happening? And also another church bombing, I think during the Christmas period again, St. Charles Borromeo Catholic Church in No Man's Land in Kano State. It just speaks to the fact that the issue of insecurity, Nigeria might not be able to win it anytime soon. It was last week or thereabout that the governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, even went to Cameroon and offered funds, money to people that should come back, say they should come back and take over their community back, you know, internally displaced personnel. And I can remember I asked a question on the table, I was like, have we ended the issue of insecurity before inviting these people back? Imagine it's not up to 1 month or 1 month, it's not up to 3 weeks after that, just a few weeks.
Just a few weeks.
And we're getting this suicide bombing happening again. I pray we will not go back again to those days, 2015, 2014. I don't want.
And for you to understand how things have turned, you know, when bombs started going off in Iraq, you know, Iran, Kuwait, and they called it suicide bombing. At that time, we were like, oh, it can't happen here.
It can't happen here.
It can't happen here. But now it's happening. At the point, we even had female suicide bombers, you know, that would strap themselves up.
Yes. It happens in Kano State. We witnessed that in Kano State multiple times.
To the point that we had a Nigerian who wanted to, you know, to bring down an airplane from Amsterdam to Detroit. And
what's his name again?
Farouk Abdul Muttalab.
Mutalab.
But I believe the government should do something about this anyway.
No, Fina, not just the government, not just the government, families.
You know, it hurts me when
society,
people...
parents, because these suicide bombers also come from families, except they want to tell us that, you know, some of them are recruited from the streets.
Some of them, that's how it happens.
The problem of this
majorly.
Marjorie, some of them don't even know their parents, they can't locate their parents. And it is not just our Marjorie. So if you go to some areas in the island here, you see some of these homeless people, they don't even know where they are coming from. They don't know their parents, they have lost contact. So it's a very big problem. And while government is busy chasing other things, the society, the people that they are supposed to protect, are gradually slipping away from care. And the danger in it is that in the near future of 10, 15, 20 years, you have an army, you know, of people, recruits who are available, you know, who are easily disposed to being used, you know, to cause problems for society.
It doesn't make sense.
Oh, well, let's quickly take another conversation. I hope time will allow us to dive into this one. This borders on how our elected officials are behaving. Well, now this one was put out there by the brother of former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, who has become an internet sensation. His name, Isaac Fayose. Now, that's his name. Well, he slammed government officials who lined up to greet President Bola Tinubu's son, Sheyi Tinubu, at an airport. Now, this video that has since gone viral saw Sheyi Tinubu disembarking from the aircraft and was greeted by these officials. And he mentioned, well, I really can't see the faces of the people there, but he mentioned the Senate, the number 3 man, which should be the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. I don't know if he's there. But anyway, and according to Fayose, he says the personalities greeting Sheyi are government officials and Senate leaders, describing their action as sycophancy. Well, we all know there's no office of the first son, and we don't run a monarchical government in Nigeria. But this, and you know, when you talk about the issue of convoy, regardless of the fact that the president has said via security agencies, police should leave VIPs and the rest, he still has his convoy. He still has his convoy. Even after Wole Soyinka, Professor Wole Soyinka made the observation that he made, he still goes around with his convoy. You know, so he's the laws are for some people, not for everybody. So he's obviously exempted from such orders. It's interesting. And we are encouraging this. We're encouraging this. If our lawmakers are putting up this sort of display, then, you know, you just know what to expect in the coming days. So I would not be surprised if he runs for office in 2027.
I've never been surprised about this. When you say we don't run the office of the first son of Nigeria, constitutionally we don't do it. But you and I know that in the mind of some politicians, it is what it is. It must be there. For example, those that want to, you know, find a way to get favor from the president through the son. We see that play out. Who was the one that gave him clearance to use that aircraft force to go and watch polo somewhere in Nigeria? Taxpayers' money. Wasn't it? It's an official. So if you check it out, you find out that, you know, when Nigerians are talking about how we keep on emboldening people that shouldn't be within, you know, some places to be there, it speaks to how some of us have decided to reduce everything we have to level of sycophancy. If the number 3 person in Nigeria can stand at the foot of the aircraft to have a golden handshake with the son of the president, we don't know what happened, we don't know where they went to or what happened or how this actually played out, then what else do you expect? He have already told you that whatever thing the president said I'm going to do, give a nod to it. So I've never for one day woken up to say I'm expecting something different from our politically elected officials. Never. Especially those who we know that they found themselves or found this thing into that house in a way that is not as straightforward. The professor who conducted the election, the returning officer that brought in the number 3 person in Nigeria is somewhere in prison, is somewhere in correctional facility. And the product of that election is who we still have as a number 3 man in Nigeria. So I'm not really surprised about this. And people who are raising their voice about it, I believe more will even play out. More will happen.
Yes, more will happen. You know, when I first saw this video, and with all sense of modesty, I describe myself as a very sane person. And so I asked myself, if I ever get into government, which I don't even pray to do, will I lose my sanity and become insane? Because this is the highest level of insanity as far as I'm concerned. And so I tried to create a scenario, what if scenario. Now, the organization that we work for has a chairman, and his first son is coming back from United States of America, and I'll go to the gate and line up to welcome him. And I was asking myself, will I do that? And if chairman wants me to do that and I don't do that, is he going to sack me? And if he sacks me, will I have an alternative and all of that? And I put all of these things together. And I said, senators lining up.
But I think it's the body language. The president himself.
Exactly. I was coming to that.
They have followed the body language of the president.
You see, when we say that, look, these things can't happen in Nigeria, they are already happening. And when people say Nigeria cannot become one-party state, Nigeria is a clearly one-party state. When Nigerians say,
"Oh, okay,"
no, Nigeria.
I'm glad you're saying that.
But it is already. It is what it is. They have
I am so glad.
already.
Have I ever disagreed?
Yes.
No, I never.
Okay.
I never disagreed. Okay. Nigeria. I mean, if you have 28 governors, if you have 30 governors,
30 governors and 2/3 of majority in the House.
Nigeria is one party state. So if you have the president's son and the president feebly says, Sheyi, what were you doing? Why did you come for fake meeting and all of that? And we see the same Sheyi appear again at the Supreme Court swearing of Kekere-Ekun, and the president says nothing. See, when it started happening, we just talked about bombs going off in Iraq, and we were like, oh, it can't happen in Nigeria. Now, you see, in fact, we even strapped more bombs than people in Iraq and Iran. And again, we are talking about, no, this Nigeria can't slide into dictatorship. That is how it starts. What's his name? The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBA, that is how it started and all of that. He killed Kamal Khashoggi and nothing happened up until today. Look at our neighboring country, Eyadema, his son. How did it start? Gradually, gradually. They keep testing the waters. They keep testing, and Nigerians will be the ones who say, oh, no, it doesn't matter. It will never get to it will get to a point where you have the CJN, the Senate president, the vice president, all line up to welcome the president's son.
Yeah.
When we get to that level, is it not a dictatorship? Nigerians should better watch it. Because my people say, when a handshake passes the arms and gets to the elbow, it don't become wrestling, no. Not a handshake again.
Oh well. Let's move away from those conversations. Let's tell you what the papers have for us this morning, and then much later in the day we'll dive into newspaper review. But this. Let's just check out the headlines. Now, from Nigerian Tribune, these are the headlines. Explosion rocks Maiduguri Mosque. Many worshippers feared killed. Oyo approves 235 billion naira for 39-kilometer Ibadan Circular Road Phase 2. In his Christmas message, Tinubu says, I will protect people of different faiths from violence. No one will be persecuted from practicing his religion. 2 Kanu lawmakers die in one day. NCDC warns of Lassa fever, meningitis, foodborne diseases. LG autonomy. Atiku blames Tinubu for governor's non-compliance. Explosion to sunlight might improve blood sugar control in type 2 diabetes. That's according to a study. Nigeria has enough to feed its people. Bishop Kuka tells leaders, wants governments to confront insecurity, poverty, bad governance. Tax law row. Don't make January sacrosanct. And Dume tells Tinubu, says FG should investigate alleged forgery. Now, I will be more troubled if I see someone like Ndume line up to greet the president's son. It's not something I think he will ever do.
I'm not sure he will do that.
Yeah.
But you never can say. Nigeria.
Okay. You're breaking my heart. All right, let's have more headlines.
All right, the cover page of the Punch newspaper today have the stories beside the masthead. House begin tax law probe. Ndume pushes for suspension. The stories on page 7. The window headlines are MDAs underfunded by 15 trillion naira in 3 years. NNPC, 12 others fail ICPC integrity test. Japa, Nigerian nurses practicing in UK hits over 16,000. The banner headline, Christmas messages. Tinubu governors spread unity NLC rejects unfair taxation. Right after that story, Khan urges security consciousness. Kuka decries killings. Nigerians lament despite food price crash. LP crisis. Abure wants OT against Para Convention. Corruption marks in God's blessing on Nigeria, EFCC chair. Tax agency can't debit accounts without court order. That's coming from Oyedele. Is that with the Ganishi order? Then we'll find out. Many feared trapped as fire guts Lagos Plaza. 4 killed, 14 injured in Borno Mosque bombing. Those are the stories on the cover page of the Punch newspaper this morning.
Now, let's quickly run through The Guardian. And from on top of the masthead, from all of us at The Guardian, Merry Christmas. Now, that's Guardian wishing you a Merry Christmas. The window headlines: PDP leaders move to reconcile factions, set up caretaker committee. Tinubu sets up APC committee to heal ribs, mobilize party ahead of 2027. Article accuses Tinubu of defying Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. Now the big story. Power crisis lingers into Christmas as output averages 3,000 megawatts. That story is on page 6 of The Guardian. And The Guardian, Trust Guardian, they go ahead to do some kind of graphics. 13,625 megawatt capacity national grid crashes to 3,000 megawatts. And ISO promises restoration within 48 hours, days after Escravos Lagos gas pipeline explosion. 8,229 megawatts idle in Q2, says report. Shock as Kano Assembly loses 2 members within minutes. Growing opposition threatens January implementation of tax laws. Christmas Eve tragedy. Many feared that as IED explodes in Borno Mosque. ASU, federal government, reached truce as union accepts 40% pay increase. And the bottom strip headline, MDAs may forfeit funds over non-compliance with financial reporting rules. And that's it from The Guardian newspaper.
And that's pretty much how far we can go on newspaper headlines. Like I said, at 10 o'clock, we'll dive deeper into the headlines that make sense of it all. Now, let's get into the conversation. Senators, reps, members fume as Senate President Godswill Akpabio allegedly orders National Assembly clerk to hide certified copies of Nigerian tax bill transmitted to the president for assent. Let's talk about this when we come back.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lawn.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills 3 things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Whether you've been with us through the ups and downs or just joined us for this festive season,
take a moment to cherish the moments you've made.
and look forward to making new ones on the horizon.
May this new year bring you everything good, everything prosperous.
As we bid farewell to the old year and welcome you to the new year,
May your heart be filled with joy and your home with laughter. And of course, may your spirit be filled with hope.
We'll be bringing you live updates, exciting performance, and inspiring stories throughout the day.
Stay tuned for our special New Year's coverage, and let's make this year unforgettable.
Thank you for making us a part of your celebration.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Now, let's dive into it. Now, lawmakers in both legislative chambers of the National Assembly are reportedly aggrieved with Senate President Godswill Akpabio over an alleged directive barring the Office of the Assembly Clerk from releasing copies of the tax reform bill transmitted to President Bola Tinubu for assent and subsequently signed into law. According to the People's Gazette, 2 senators and 4 members of the House of Representatives told the newspaper that the embargo has fueled suspicion and internal wrangling as lawmakers who demanded copies of the assented bill were denied access. Now, this is despite their insistence that the document was needed to confirm that the version signed by the president was identical with the certified true copy passed by both legislative chambers. Now, according to the lawmakers, the controversy began following allegations by a member of the House of Representatives, Abdul Samad Dasuki, that the tax laws available to Nigerians differed from the version passed by the National Assembly. The allegation prompted several lawmakers to formally request copies of the signed law to compare it with the version debated and approved during plenary. Meanwhile, the Gazette wrote that officials in the office of the clerk of the National Assembly informed the lawmakers that they were acting on the instruction of Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who ordered that no copy of the assented tax law be released to any legislator. Oh well. A House of Representative member from Oyo State who spoke to the tabloid described the development as troubling, saying that he was disappointed in Speaker Tajuddin Abbas's failure to allow the matter to be resolved before the Yuletide break. Well, the content of the gazetted document has become central to the unfolding dispute, with lawmakers saying access to the assented copy was critical to establishing whether or not there were alterations in the document. Well, the lawmakers warned that withholding the document undermined legislative oversight and eroded trust within the parliament. Well, these are happenings in Nigeria currently, and we do have with us in the studio public affairs commentator, and when he's not discussing politics, he's either farming or in the classroom educating students, is Lawale Kundaya. Good to have you join us this morning. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Kundaya. Good to have you.
Thank you.
We'll also be going round our outstations. From Abuja, we have Mazi David Ihuama Esquire, a lawyer and a public affairs commentator. And Port Harcourt will be joined by Archbishop Dr. Ibioku Gospel Bob Manuel, who is also a public affairs commentator. He's former National Vice President, Institute of Strategic Management, Nigeria. And Port Harcourt, we will be joined by Barrister Asim Adams. He joins us from Port Harcourt. All right, so now let's dive into it. Now, let me start off with you, Barrister Asim Adams. Merry Christmas to you, first off. Now, hearing this happening, that the clerk hiding away documents that were assented to
from lawmakers. How does this make you feel, first off, and then what legal moves can be taken to ensure that either the clerk or whoever authorized that are punished and the copies brought out immediately so Nigerians can deliberate on it before January 1st, 2026? Well, did you get the question, Barrister Adams?
Hello. Can
Go
you
ahead.
hear me?
Yes, okay, I can hear you now.
Can you
Go
hear
ahead.
me? Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
It's disheartening and at the same time not sweating. It is sad that a public document under the Evidence Act, which is a law, is a document for everybody. Under the Freedom of Information Act, that particular document is a public document. Now, when you begin to play games, play pranks with a public document of that nature, it is a criminal offense. Under the law, you are supposed to let the public have access to that document. But since it's been withheld unnecessarily, those who are doing that should face the music of the law. I know most of them are going to claim what I call parliamentary immunity, because inside the National Assembly, a lot of mumbo-jumbo things do happen there. Criminality takes place, but they want to hide under parliamentary immunity to do whatever they are doing. For me, it's condemnable, it's great malfeasance, it's uncalled for, it's criminal, and it infracts on the law and the rights to Nigerians to have access to a document of that monumental proportion that we need to get up right now. So whoever that is holding that document and playing pranks in the gallery must be told that what he's doing is wrong. And the Senate president must also know that the Senate has become a caricature of the Senate.
All right.
The Senate has become a laughing stock.
Okay.
The Nigerian Senate under Akpabio has become a boju kind of Senate.
Barrister, parliamentary immunity.
And
sorry to interrupt your train of thoughts there, but parliamentary immunity, how can you go around it in a situation that affects the nation like this? Can the clerk and those that work within the office of the clerk claim parliamentary immunity in this kind of case? Will he hold water?
Of course, because the parliamentary immunity under, if you do whatever you do within that, precinct of the National Assembly, you are not supposed to be prosecuted, as the case may be, inside the chambers of the House. But the speaker, the clerk of the House, does not possess that immunity. That is
okay.
It is only for legislators.
Legislators, okay.
The clerk of the House can be summoned. The clerk of the House is duty bound because it's a public officer. It's not a political office holder. It's a public officer, and under the Public Officers Act, is bound to release that document without let or hindrance. So what I'm talking about parliamentary immunity is for legislators, senators, House of Reps, not the administrative staff of the National Assembly. So let that be very clear. Okay. Yeah, let that be very clear. Yes.
Okay, all right, Barrister Adam, good morning to you once again, and thanks for joining us on the show. Now, if we understand, you understand very well, sir. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Now, we understand what has happened between the executive and the legislature. Now, the executive at some point said, look, no, there is nothing. We didn't change anything. And now we see a legislature, the Senate president, we have information that the clerk says, look, the Senate President asked me not to release the original document to legislators. And you recall that also the National Assembly set up a committee to investigate what happened, what transpired between the National Assembly and the executive. In the face of all of this, do we still need the work of that committee? Isn't it obvious that that document was altered?
You see, the boju, whatever they are playing with it means or gives us a lot to say that the document was actually altered. See, let me put it very clear. The National Assembly or the legislature, before a law is passed, can alter bills in the committee stage. They can make alterations to remove and add things that was decided openly. But the moment the committees have submitted a particular bill to a joint house, alteration cannot take place again once it goes to the president. So if they have altered, from what I'm seeing right now is that they have actually altered, sections of that particular law, and that is criminal. So for those who did that, for those who participated in the alterations after that bill has passed that first, second, and third reading, waiting for assent, if it is from the presidency, those people who were involved could be prosecuted for forgery. They could be prosecuted for alterations, criminal alteration of documents, public documents, as case may be. That is number one. Number two,
okay,
for the speaker, for the clerk of the House to say that the Senate President has not mandated him to release or whatever as case may be, is treading on a very dangerous line. Let me tell you, he should be told that the Nigerian Senate is answerable to the Nigerian people and not Akpabio. The Nigerian Senate is answerable to the Nigerian people and not Akpabio. And the Nigerian people has asked that this document be given to them and let us, compare notes and do punishment for those who we feel has altered this. And if the speaker is hiding under the cloak that the Senate President asked him to do that, then I believe it leaves more to be desired.
Barrister, does the immunity you talked about, does it also include when there's a criminal case? Like you just pointed out that if someone or if anybody decide to alter any agreed information by both chambers of the House or after the committee must have presented it, that is criminal. So now, does this immunity also shield the Senate President or any other person within the Parliament who must have altered or given directive for the alteration of this document that Nigerians are talking about?
No, it does not. No, it does not. It does not. Get me very clear. What I said, when I talk about immunity, is that refusal to submit that document, refusal to submit that particular document to say it is within our whatever the case may be. The Senate President could be impeached if he is found that his hand is involved. And if he is impeached as a Senate President, he could be prosecuted. If he's involved in this malpractice, if he's involved in this criminality, as the case may be. Immunity, parliamentary immunity talks about, things that were said or done within the parliament. It doesn't pertain to forgery. Forgery is not part of it. Forgery is a criminal offense, that has no limitations.
Okay.
As the case may be. It's a criminal offense that has no limitations. They could be investigated, and when they leave office, they could be prosecuted. Okay. Even if a governor forges a document, even if the president forges a document, yes, immunity covers him, but if he leaves office, he could be prosecuted.
Okay, thank you.
For that particular forgery that he did.
Thank you so much.
For the period he's been president, he may not be, prosecuted.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Asim Adams. Barrister Mazi David Ihoma, let's get your opinion on this, please. What does this portend for Nigeria? The refusal of the clerk, giving the members of the legislature the paper that Nigerians are talking about that must have been altered by some individuals, and the level or the way the presidency is talking about starting the new tax act by 2026, first day of January. What does this portend for Nigerians? Since we are yet to understand what really played out. The alteration in that book, the one that was gazetted, and every other thing, surrounding it.
Yeah. My opinion to this is that, first, the president has his wings and caprice as a president. It appears that the National Assembly take order from him. They have actually left their legislative responsibility accrue to them. Then they are now obeying the president without having recourse to the law that defined of the executive. The refusal to release those documents shows that there is actually that the document was tampered. So in order to hide it from the public from discovering the authored document, they are trying to hide it from members of the legislature. That's for you to understand there is no any effective law that punishes indiscipline or inconsistency in this country, provided that you are on the side of the president, you are covered. It is unfair that the APC current administration are undermining our democracy, and this can lead to revolution because they are feeling that Nigerians are stupid and incompetent. There is no how a president can handpick a legislative power that's supposed to be a kind of that checkmate the excesses of the president. It has not become a part of the executive, whereby the National Assembly does not have the mindset of its own to regulate its affairs and checkmate the activities and excesses of the president. That's undermine our democracy, and that could truncate our democracy. So
Barrister
it is unlawful.
Barrister David, if
Yes,
we are
I'm
able
here.
to establish from the actions of the clerk of the Senate that there is some kind of alteration because of, look, the Senate president has not mandated me not to give out the copies to anybody. If that is an establishment of alteration, what should be the consequences?
If the alteration comes from the executive, the president should be impeached. Even the Senate president should be impeached. It's just that the National Assembly are not using that their powers have been used up by the executive. It cannot help. They cannot hold the executive accountable to the dictates of the law, because they ought to be by the provision of the Constitution hold the president accountable, bring his actions within the ambit of the law. So where they fail to hold the president accountable, then the democracy itself is in question. So the president ought to be
Barrister David, when you say the president should be impeached, I want us to establish a fact here. Is it an impeachable offense based on the letters of our Constitution?
What constitutes an impeachable offense is within the definition of the National Assembly. If he exhibits any form of misconduct that the National Assembly can be said to be an impeachable offense, they can constitute impeachable.
Is it at the discretion of the National Assembly to define or determine an act that is impeachable?
Misconduct. Yes, now. The National is within the ambit of.
No. What I want us to establish is the fact. Do we have
to establish what constitutes misconduct on the part of the president that could.
Okay, but Barrister Ihoma, what I want us to establish, if you go to our Constitution, is there any section that says that, look, if in the process of executive conduct and all of that, the president alters, a document of the federal government, does it constitute an impeachable offense? That is what I want us to establish.
It constitutes an impeachable offense because the law provides that what's the basis upon which the president can be impeached if his conduct if his conduct constitutes any conduct. It is just the provision of the law does not really define it. But if on the part of the executive they feel that out of the president breached the Constitution or jeopardize the legitimacy of our laws, the National Assembly can actually constitute an impeachment proceeding against the president.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mazi David Ihoma. Let's take the conversation to Archbishop Dr. Ibiokun Gospel Bob Manuel. Archbishop, good morning and good to have you joined to this conversation. Merry Christmas to you. Now, the question I want to ask is, the House could not solve this. They couldn't sort this out before going on their recess, which began, I think, last 2 days ago, thereabout. And I learned that they will come up again, maybe January or thereabout, after this tax reform must have taken effect. Are we going to see it being retracted if, at the end of the day, the allegation of alteration has been established? Or, what do you really think will play out? Because we have so many things coming up in 2026, from the tax reform that we have now, which will start 1st of January. You have the tinted glass. I don't know if the Nigeria police is going to listen to the Warri Federal High Court that will also place more like an interim injunction on that. And we also have the roadworthiness of vehicles, and so many things coming up this year or next year, 2026. Are we going to see the tax reform now retracted and maybe another level of a debate being held again for it?
Well, thank you. Let me tell everybody in the studio Merry Christmas and also Happy New Year in advance. It's sordid. What I'm going to say that it's sordid for this kind of story to be emanating between the precinct of the National Assembly. It is unheard of where the National Assembly would facilitate any act that is so indecent. In terms of criminalizing the act, the lawyers will know better. But I think that even administratively, it is out of place. If the joint outs have done a final job and it has been gazetted, or at the point of gazetting, some new inputs are made, whether it's in the interest of the people or in the interest of the government, it is wrong procedurally. That's by legislative processes. They need to condemn it. And what I think is the legislators requesting to get the copy that they actually passed, and the clerk being advised by the Senate President, so to say, not to give to them. It's within their right, legislative right, to ask for a document they actually worked on. I'm even surprised that most of them do not have their copies online. We are in a situation where if there is no criminal intention, all of them, even before that is passed, it should be on their mail. It should be on their mailing system, everything they have done, because it's their document and they should be entitled to it, except you are talking of the signed, finally signed document.
Yes, that's
it's
exactly, that's the one we're talking about. The gazetted copy, the signed copy. That's the one they're trying to get access to.
And the problem now we have is not just with the gazetted copy. They want to see the gazetted copy that yes, alteration, that they want to do a comparison with what was between their confines and what went out to the presidency for final signature, assent. That's what we're saying. So they should not even wait. For me, I feel that there is a loophole even between their processes, that for a document that we finally assented or finally processed in the joint house and sent to the assembly, to the presidency, through the leadership of National Assembly, they should all have copies originally ab initio. You cannot be writing a project that is emanating from you for your professors and any group of people to assess and give their final approval. Then you will not have, you should have even the what we call the original of original copies. From all the stages, till the final stage, you push it out. They're asking even the clerk, shows that something is wrong. Because by that system, you generate a document you generated or that came from the executive and you fine-tuned, you debated on. And you are asking now, you don't have a pedestrian knowledge of what can be inserted. It will be hearing of budget insertions and a lot of insertions in the National Assembly. And it's like become a pattern. If you're interested, they allow whatever they allow. And the people suffer for it. Tomorrow they will begin to impose these draconian tax laws where they don't apply. When you talk, they will say, oh, no, they use the police against you. So what I think is that it's a very serious, it's something that can lead to anarchy, because if what National Assembly has passed is not the same thing that is gazetted, even the presidency has committed a crime, even the finance team.
All right.
The tax team, everybody is involved. which means that you're changing Nigerians. And it's a civil society problem. It's not even a legal problem first, because it is the civil society and corporate bodies who have companies and all that that are going to suffer for all those unnecessary amendments. That if they want to make amendment, they should make proposal to National Assembly again after the proper law has been passed.
All right.
If not, it's criminal and it's condemnable. There's no two ways about it.
Thank you.
It's even a disgrace talking about it.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Still alleged, because we are yet to, know whether it is true or false. Let's bring conversation to Mr. Lawale Kundayo. Mr. Lawale Kundayo, what Nigerians are asking, what is really playing out within the presidency at this point? Check the prerogative mercy list for the president for clemency. We were told also from the Nigeria Correctional Service that the names were not the ones that they gave out. So many people were, against some of the names when they said, like, we did not give this out. And then now we're hearing another allegation of a possible alteration in the new tax reform bill, which Nigerians are supposed to, start adhering or obeying to from 1st of January 2026. But what is really playing out? Some people have said that the president does not really know what is happening. It's being kept somewhere in the dark. The likes of Alin Dume told Nigerians that a certain level of people are the ones running the Asura. But people are saying it's not possible. And, having this back and forth about what is really happening within the Nigerian presidency.
No, I keep saying that it's not true for you to say that the president is not aware of what is going on in Nigeria. It's totally untrue. Because it's like you are in your house, you don't know what is going on in the house. Is it possible? It's not. So whatever plays out there, the president is totally aware of what is going on. And that is what he wants. If he doesn't want it, he will have changed
now
the officers.
We've learned that this is an impeachable offense. If it's established, it's an impeachable offense. But from your observation, your knowledge in the political space, what do you think will happen in the coming days? What do you think will play out in the coming days? Do you think the lawmakers will confront the executive in this?
Now, the thing is that I think the lawmakers are waking up gradually. They are kind of coming up, rearing their head out of that rubber stamp thing. Some of them are beginning to challenge that.
So the APC still has.
That's why you see one of them occasionally coming up, saying one or two things, even though they are being stepped down.
But the APC still has the majority.
Even members of the APC, some of them are even coming up to say one or two things. See them coming up to say something, even though that thing doesn't go beyond that level, but they still come out to say it like something like, I know that this thing is right, but I say after that thing is boiling in me, I need to speak out. Because now this tax will affect them. They can't remain in that office forever, but the tax will remain as long as it stays. So it's coming back to affect them. It's coming back to haunt them, and they want to see it. Now, that's why you see them trying to rear their heads up occasionally, and that is why we see what is happening. They are showing that boldness gradually. Now, there's something I want to say. It's like in a court, the judge, after making his pronouncement, and then the parties want to go to the clerk of the court to ask for the CCTV, the cities of that the pronouncement, and they are telling them that no, the judge said we should not release it to you. They were in court, they heard what the judge said, and you are now saying that they cannot have the copy because the judge said they should not release it. Is it? Does it make sense? That is exactly what is playing out here. Now, going into the educational aspect, what are we teaching these children? Because what we teach them is what we expect them to make use of in the society. And they discover that what we are teaching them on book is different from what their elders are playing in the society. You see, even the primary school student child will pick up a phone, go to WhatsApp, look at what is going on, go to Google, check everything, listen to news, and then when we teach them this thing, they ask questions.
Mr. Kundayo, talking about taking out the president through a process of impeachment, if it is established that, look, it's an impeachable offense, before we get to the president, do you think that the senators can confront their leader?
That's why you see. That's why they are coming up now. That's why I said they are rearing their heads out now gradually. Okay. You see, this is not the first time. You see that recently many of them are coming out to challenge the status quo. Normally they would not have done that, but this time they are doing it. Now it has shown, like I said earlier on, the Senate president or the speaker is a member of the House. It's a legislature. Now they appointed you.
Do you think that this challenge, that is raising up its head now, according to you, will get to a point where they say, okay, now we need to start impeachment process against
yes, it's coming gradually to it.
There is also this allegation that the members of the Senate, the senators at a point, wanted to embarrass the president, before his presentation of the 2026 budget. And there was this largesse, allegedly $50,000 was doled out to each and every one of them. And by the time the president walked into the chambers of the National Assembly, on your mandate, we shall stand, became, it was the rendition of the moment. Do you think that at the backdrop of that the senators will say, look, enough of this, God's will, Akpabio, you have to go?
It's coming into, it's gradually coming to. That's why I said.
I think that if there's some kind of under the table arrangement, that they won't step it down.
See, even when you do arrangement, they know that when they come to the House, the public is listening. On the backdoor arrangement, the public is not hearing about it. But when it comes to the chamber, the public is here. That's why you see some of them, even when they do the arrangement inside, they come to the chamber and then they speak out occasionally. They say it out because they know when they say it out, it gets to the public domain and everybody hears about it, compared to if they say it out in the back door and they are stepped down. That's why you see some of them speaking out. There was a time even Akpabio himself tried to say one or two things. You remember when the defense personnel was being cleared in the House, and then somebody said, let him take a bow and go. He said, no. This person is on our head. This person. You see that some of them, they are looking at it as, this thing cannot go, but they are looking at who is going to take that lead. And gradually, some of them are taking the lead. They are gradually taking the lead. I'm sure this thing will bring out something.
Well, a lot of Nigerians don't share your optimism in this area, because I'm sure a lot of Nigerians feel like, okay, it's just going to be business as usual over there in the Senate. But unfortunately, we are out of time for this conversation. I would have loved to go back to Barrister C. Adams to get his final thoughts on this one. But we'll get final thoughts at the end of the program. But let's run into another conversation now. Party politics. That's the conversation on our table right now. APC chieftain urges the PDP to put its house in order or merge with the ADC. All right, let's talk about this when we come back.
Whether you've been with us through the ups and downs or just joined us for this festive season,
take a moment to cherish the moments you've made and look forward to making new ones on the horizon.
May this new year bring you everything good, everything prosperous.
As we bid farewell to the old year and welcome you to the new year,
may your heart be filled with joy and your home with laughter. And of course, may your spirit be filled with hope.
We'll be bringing you live updates, exciting performance, and inspiring stories throughout the day.
Stay tuned for our special New Year's coverage, and let's make this year unforgettable.
Thank you for making us a part of your celebration.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Glad to have you back, Silvio P. This morning. Former Minority Leader, House of Reps Farouk Aliyu, has advised the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to put its act together or merge with the All Democratic Congress, ADC. Aliyu, a chieftain of the Ruling All Progressives Congress, said this on Wednesday during a monitored television interview. According to him, if the People's Democratic Party is dying, one way to revive it is for it to merge with the ADC. Aliyu emphasized that some party members need to concede in certain ways in order to allow the People's Democratic Party bounce back. His comment comes on the heels of defections of key persons like governors, National Assembly members, and other party members to the APC. The main opposition party is also embroiled in a crisis, with two groups laying claims to the leadership of the People's Democratic Party, which ruled Nigeria from 1999 to 2015. At one point, it was touted to be the biggest or largest political party in West Africa, but now the house is already divided, and you know what they say about a house divided. It might not really be able to stand up again or be back on its foot. We still have with us in the studio Mr. Lawale Kunda, a public affairs analyst, and Barrister Asim Adams, legal luminary and national affairs commentator also. And we have from Abuja, Mazi David Homa Esquire, a political and public affairs commentator. And from Port Harcourt, we have Archbishop Dr. Ibiokun Gospel Bob Manuel, public affairs analyst. Let me start off with you, Archbishop Dr. Ibiokun Gospel Bob Manuel. What do you make of this? This, will I say, more like an advice to the People's Democratic Party from a stalwart of APC, that they should put themselves the house in order or find a way to merge with the ADC, which Nigerians are pointing to now to be the, let's say, strong contender of the All Progressives Congress come 2027 election. Do you think that PDP will take this idea or this advice from Aliyu, or do you think the war will continue brewing? Because we recall that yesterday, INEC also associated itself from the Saraki-led committee, which some people were of the opinion that they've also accepted before now. And now it's like PDP is the internal wrangling in the party as for that degenerated to them might not being able to have candidates appealed in for the February 2026 local government council election in FCT, and also the June and July 2026 gubernatorial election in both Ekiti and Osun State. What do you have to say, please, to this?
If we go by the information in public space, you remember when Makinde made a recent statement that the FCT minister promised the president in a meeting to be ungovernable, to be such that it will be destabilized. And I think he has almost succeeded in doing that. We have seen the unnecessary internal wranglings that has led to this point of not having a clear-cut leadership. It's unfortunate that the leaders of PDP, the board of trustees, and all the famous former governors and all that could not resolve the internal problem and had allowed they shot themselves on the foot. To that extent, they now see that as all their governors have almost cross-carpeted to the ruling party, and the ones remaining are also fidgeting. For me, it's to attend to Israel. Somebody does not, anybody who wants to have political future might not want to take the PDP platform because nobody knows when the end will come. And we are getting towards the electoral period, and we don't have independent candidates. What we have, you have to contest on political platform. And nobody will want to contest on a political platform that has so many innuendos and legal issues. To that extent, the advice looked germane. Well, just like what happened to the legacy parties with APC. Before they ousted PDP, they came together, the legacy parties and ACN came together and formed a party, a political association that ousted the sitting government. So they should begin to think of various modalities. So their followers will have platform to contest election. The way it's going, if you're unable to resolve their matters almost immediately, it's going to got the electoral system out timetable. The time will swing against them because it's long overdue and nobody will take them seriously as a platform. Because if you can't solve your internal problem, how can you solve national problems? So for me, the advice is timely, but It's also making a caricature of the PDP that we know. It means the APC man is telling them, you no longer exist. You are no longer formidable. So why don't you look for an attachment? So it's a kind of, how will I put it, mockery to the leadership and those who are still in the PDP, as it were, that they cannot resolve their problem and they want to oust a sitting president. So they should look at it, introspect, and keep personal differences aside.
Okay, all right. Archbishop Bob Manuel, Archbishop, do you think that it is just a mockery, or do you think that it is coming from a position of dissent or discontent from the APC member? Because in actuality, a lot of people believe that if PDP and ADC actually come together, that it's going to be a very big problem for the APC. So do you think that he was mocking them, or he was just telling them, look, if you do this, I might just come over to you?
I think it's a mockery. Number one, why is this a mockery is, in the PDP, the faction led by the FCT minister are already working with the APC. From political body languages, from elections that have taken place, they're already working. The FCT minister is in APC government and is very close to the presidency and has been working against his party. And nothing has been, it was recently they were talking of expulsion. These people expelling him now are now not legitimate in the eyes of the assessment of INEC. So that's what we're saying. If you look,
okay, all right, Bishop, I'd like for us to remove mockery out of it. Let's also create a what-if scenario. What if, by all permutations, PDP and ADC come together? What do you think will happen to the APC in 2027?
That's why you can say a faction of PDP. There's a faction that cannot come together with
No,
ADC.
they are trying to reconcile. They are trying to reconcile. Both parties are interested in reconciliation. I think chairman called them for a meeting, and they are going to have another meeting on their own, without a third party. Turaki has said, oh, okay, let's come, let's talk. And looks like the Wike faction, they are also open to discussions. If those discussions come through and they're able to build one PDP, and eventually we are trying to create what-if scenarios, and they eventually merge with ADC to become one stronger position, what do you think will happen to the APC in 2027?
The APC still have the advantage because the house divided against itself cannot stand. I tell you that particular meeting they are trying to broker will not work because the how will I put it? The fifth columnist will not allow it work.
What if it
provided?
What if it
no,
works?
I'm not being pessimistic.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, that if it works, we will thank God that they have wake up from their slumber. But from what I'm telling you, that already you remember what Mackinder said and what even the FCT minister said himself, that is praying that PDP will not produce a presidential candidate to stand against the sitting president. So there is an agenda and there is a deliberate attempt to frustrate the PDP from vying in the presidential elections. And that is why it's not that it cannot be solved if there are no interest. This interest is counter the PDP's interest, ab initio. So what we are saying is that the PDP people should know their problem and know how to go about solving it. This Turaki situation, if INEC can recognize that, would have been the best for them because they would have solved that problem by taking over the party.
But the case is
now,
in court, so
they have gone back
to drop his judgment or ruling.
Yes, the court will play games with it until the timetable will not favor them. You remember what happened in the River State emergency case? Supreme Court did not take any judgment. They were delaying it until the emergency was lifted before they came and just gave an academic judgment. The courts are all in this particular conspiracy, with due respect. And that is why I think that PDP shot themselves on the foot. They would have taken care of this problem long time before this electoral cycle begins. And it's unfortunate for the country, for a party as PDP that has been seasoned as PDP, allow themselves to degenerate as if they're a baby party. It's unfortunate.
All right, thank you so much, Archbishop Babano, for your submission. Barrister Asim Adams, what do you make of this, will I call it an advice or a jab from Farouk to the PDP, that if is either they put their act together or form a merger with, you know, the ADC, another power or another force now that APC had to reckon with in 2027. Do you think that that can ever be possible? Are we going to see a merger, a possible merger now from PDP and ADC? And if that is to take place, what do you think will happen to the ruling All Progressives Congress come 2027 general election? I would like you to unmute your microphone, the microphone for your device, if you can hear me, Barrister Simada.
Yes, I think yes, I can hear you. What has happened is that PDP is a troubled party. PDP, like I normally say, has been dismembered. And the reason why there is division in the PDP is because it's due to ideological differences, power struggles, and ethno-regional loyalties to some godfathers. Now, I was even surprised that Turaki and the rest of them could even go before INEC when they knew that there are 3 court orders that they have not set aside. These court orders are against, in fact, the Turaki-led, faction of PDP. No attempt has been made by that particular faction to set aside those particular orders. And you want INEC to recognize you. INEC rightly said that that cannot be done because they already have, orders of court. And based on the orders of court, until and unless it is vacated, they cannot recognize the faction, as the case may be. The second one is that PDP, in my own opinion, has been afflicted by the Greek goddess Theodomos. That particular goddess of strife and confusion and trouble. It's like PDP has been afflicted, by that particular goddess, the spirit of that goddess, the Greek goddess. How be it that a party that once canvassed itself as the biggest party in Africa, that will rule for about 100 years unchallenged, has now become a shadow of itself? It's very, very simple. It's easy for anybody to destabilize PDP because PDP members, even the remnant of PDP that are left in the parties, in different factions, are people that are looking for stomach infrastructure somewhere. The moment any political party call them now and they feel that they can feed their stomach, they will leave the party. That is why you see, I said that ideological differences, most of the party members, they don't have ideologies. That is why you see Yesowike can come in and create problem in the party, and the party now becomes in tatters, as the case may be. If PDP could not put themselves together before now, I wonder, even if they go to ADC, can you go to ADC now as a bloc, as the old PDP in a weak form that you are right now? If you go into a negotiating table with an empty stomach, you know exactly what the outcome of that negotiation will be. So PDP right now, they are divided. So any political party they want to go into right now, the party will see them as a liability rather than an asset. And negotiating with that particular, faction, as the case may be now, a lot of people will be looking at them as people who are disgruntled, who are running away from trouble, and they want to come and create trouble here in the new political party. So it's a difficult situation for them. What I will advise them to do, they mustn't fight to win election in 2027. They can, go back to the drawing table, try and rejig the political party, believe in the ideology of the party, believe in the political party, try and begin to work out things between now and the next 2 years. Maybe they can rejig themselves and rehabilitate PDP, then look to future election. But for the 2027 election, PDP cannot feed any candidate, that can win any election. Saraki said that as much, that only a mad person or a mad politician will contest under the umbrella of PDP in this particular point in time. So let them forget about 2027 right now. If they are truly interested in bringing the party back, and try and see if they can rebuild the party between this year, next year, and even 2027, then they can begin to contest maybe the next general election 2031 or whatever the case may be.
All right.
As the case is right now, PDP is dead.
Thank you so much.
PDP is dead and buried.
Thank you, Barrister Asi, madams. Mr. Lawale Kundaya, let's get your opinion on this. Do you think that PDP is dead? We still see the Wike faction of the PDP striving, and also Sheyi Makinde or the faction also, they are all striving. Do you think the party is dead?
No.
Or are we going to see the likes of Nyesom Wike, because according to what Makinde told us, he said there was a closed door meeting in which the likes of Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, pledged to the president that he is going to hold PDP down until after the 2027 election. Do you think that they will be able to solve their internal wrangling before this election?
PDP is not dead. It's not. It's just sick. It's having a very serious sickness that it has not been able to cure, and it will come out, but it may not be in this 2027 because one of the big people in that party already made a pledge that party will not produce any candidate. And since those people are formidable in the party, no matter the reconciliation, that objective that they have, that goal will always be whatever they will use to negotiate. No matter the negotiation they do, they will still come back to it. That's why when there was an impeachment, there was a faction. I even said it's even better for them to have a faction. Because when they have a faction, that's when they can know who are the bad eggs among them. But if you say you want to reconcile, you come back to the old style, what you've been doing before, in which the purpose is to keep PDP out of focus. But after 2027, I know many of these bad heads will want to contest. Now, we'll not see where they want to contest. So, for example, if Wike wants to contest now, he won't contest under PDP. Maybe he will have to decamp to APC and then contest under APC. By that time, PDP will now start healing its wounds, and then it will be able to come back. So the problem with the PDP now is that the top people in the PDP have already, some of them have made their pledge that party will not be anything in 2027. So it's after that 2027 that party will now come up again, because many of them will want to contest, and I'm sure they will never contest under PDP. From what it is, they will decamp. The moment they decamp, see, the party will readjust itself and come. And from what the APC chieftain said, it's like it's a mockery. It's a way of laughing at PDP, that you are gone. Just go and disappear by fixing yourself into ADC and be forgotten. But they shouldn't do that. If they want to take my advice, they should just remain what it is. As time goes on, the dust will settle.
All right, well, some will disagree with you because the PDP still has some semblance of structure, especially in states. So some will feel like if the PDP merges with the ADC to boost the impact that the ADC will
swallow them up. Yes, it will swallow. The ADC will simply swallow them up, and PDP will be forgotten.
All right then, Mazi David Ihuama Esquire. Now, how would you explain? Okay, unfortunately, I just been told that we've lost connection to Mazi David Ihuama. Oh well, let's move on to another conversation now. Let's now let's talk about the strikes, a few strikes and disagreements that we have experienced in 2025. Finally, we hear that ASU and the federal government have concluded talks on the 2009 agreement. And this is coming after years of negotiations and renegotiations. So it seems this is an end to academic strike. Well, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the federal government have concluded a long-awaited renegotiation of the 2009 federal FGN-ASU agreement, ending years of a protracted talk and dispute over the welfare of academics and the funding of public universities. The development was disclosed by ASU in a statement shared on its official Facebook page on Wednesday. The agreement is scheduled to take effect from January 1, 2026, and will be reviewed after 3 years. Now, under this agreement, academic staff in Nigerian public universities will receive a 40% salary increase, while pension benefits have been significantly improved. Professors are to earn a pension equivalent to their annual salary upon retirement at the age of 70. The agreement also introduces a new university funding model with dedicated allocations for research, libraries, laboratory equipment, and staff development as well. In addition, a National Research Council is proposed to fund research activities with at least 1% of Nigeria's gross domestic product. Oh well. We have an educationist in our midst. You've been a big player in that sector. Does this give you some sort of joy? You know, your colleagues, they heard about this. Are they feeling excited? Okay, finally, we have something to hold on to. And we do know that the professor's salary, from what we learned some months back, was around 500,000, 600,000 naira a month. Will that be improved upon based on this?
Yes, it will.
So are you happy?
Yes, it's okay. But the thing is, what will the new tax reform do to the money? Will it not take part of it back? So that is another headache that will bring up another maybe problem in the future. Because by the time the tax is taking more back again from what you are giving them, it looks like you just added a very tiny peanut to it.
Yeah, but they are not the only ones paying taxes. Nigerians,
no, I know.
Cuts across.
Cut across. I'm just saying it generally, and I hope it will also trickle. The same thing will go down to the lower education system, like the secondary and primary. But the one I really want to talk more is about the research. Okay. The research, because if you look all over the world, China is really coming up based on the fact that they spend more money on research. They spend more money, see a lot of things develop coming up from their institute. So without research, no country can develop.
Mr. Kundai, I'm sorry to butt in. I like the fact that you are talking about research. Everyone understands, the value of research and economic development and all of that. In all of this, do you trust the federal government to implement this? I mean, 2009, you know how long ago that was, and they've been negotiating and renegotiating, and they said final negotiation. Now, this one is the final of the final. Do you trust the federal government to keep their word?
Until I see it implemented, before I will say truly, the federal government is doing it. But now, we're just saying...
When it is implemented, now you know that the federal government has implemented.
Yeah, but now I don't
sitting on this chair, do you trust? If you understand the Nigerian government, do you trust?
No, I don't.
Okay, why?
I don't.
Why?
I've seen so many cases like that now, so many like that. The federal government will say something, and they will be hearing something else. They will say this, and then another person will say that. That is, it's not good at all. It's inconsistent. If you are keeping quiet, keep quiet. You are not saying, not one person will say this, some months or few days, somebody will be saying something else. It's worrisome. So we'll find it, I don't, until I see the implementation, before I say, okay, truly, this thing, the federal government is doing it. But for now, I don't see it. I just see it on paper. We are just talking about it. That's one of the worrisome things, that we'll still have to go through the implementation process. In the implementation process, that when you start seeing back forth, we didn't say, somebody said it, somebody said that. That is not what we said. This is not part of it, it's part of it. Like this tax reform, you can see what happened apart from what they signed, and we are hearing another case, we are hearing something else. The same thing with the NNPC. This is we are hearing 65% shortfall, 60% shortfall. We didn't hear that in the middle of the year. We heard that everything is fine. They have met up their quota. So this thing doesn't make us to trust the government until we see the implementation, before we say, okay, truly, the government is doing it. But for now, on paper, I still don't have that confidence.
Okay, all right then. Thank you very much, Mr. Ekunde. Let's move over to Barrister Adam. Barrister Adams, would like you to join this conversation. Now, ASU and the federal government have finally, renegotiated the 2009 agreement, and the federal government reeled out, what they intend to do, 40% salary increase. Professors who, when they retire at the age of 70, they will get their annual salary as retirement benefit and all of that. Research, 1% of our GDP should go into research and all of that. What's your reaction to this renegotiated agreement of 2009? Hello, Barrister Adams, can you hear me? I'll need for you to unmute your mic so that we can get your audio.
Okay, can you hear me?
Go ahead, sir, I can.
All right, for ASU and federal government, it has become a difficult one for students and parents. I am a parent, and I know that a lot of parents, Nigerian parents, are not too happy about ASU federal government. Whenever we hear ASU and federal government negotiating, a lot of us are terrified because we found out that it's been a horrendous experience for many parents and students. Since 2009, that tells you that this particular nation called Nigeria and even our leaders do not take education seriously. How can you be negotiating education issue that pertains to millions of children, the future of tomorrow? Since 2009, a child that was born 2009 by now is getting to get married, as the case may be. And it is just now that we are reaching an agreement. I'm even very scared that this is the way they always say, we've reached an agreement, we've reached a fine agreement, the fine lines have been done. But in the next 2 months or whatever, ASU will come out again and begin to complain that the agreement that was reached has been, breached or reneged upon by the government.
Okay, so Barrister Adams, Barrister Adams, at this point, they don't trust that the federal government will implement its own side of the bargain. You don't trust them to do that.
I don't trust them. That is what I'm saying, Mr. Okoro. I must be very honest with you. This is a government that has not shown reason why I have to trust them. A government that during campaign
I guess we're having a network glitch. Okay, so sorry about that. Thank you so much, Barrister Asim Adams. Archbishop Dr. Ibiokun Bob Manuel, if you can hear me. All right. I guess we're having a little glitch. We'll work on that. But now, Mr. Emmanuel, Mr. Lawale Kundayo. Sorry, I wanted to call you Emmanuel. Sorry about that. Okay, someone just raised the concern about lack of trust deficit in Nigeria between the government and agencies and all that. What magic do you think the federal government under this present administration will perform, to make sure that ASU will not embark on another strike remember this agreement happened in 2009 and now it's 2025 and they've been having the back and forth. What magic do you think they want to perform apart from all that they've actually rolled out to tell Nigerians that these are the way forward? Are we seeing implementation? Remember that some time ago when the Minister of Education told Nigerians that the issue between the Nigerian government and ASU have been solved or sorted. We also saw the ASU chairman, national chairman, come up to say that the minister was lying, that they've not resolved anything and all that. What miracle do you think could be performed at this point for us to say bye-bye to ASU and the strike?
That's immediate implementation of the agreement now. Okay. That's it, immediate implementation. That's what will take the government, everybody take government serious. And then we will go.
2026 budget, education and health have the least. I'm talking about the allocations and all that. So how do you think then the implementation will be able to be seamless with such allocation?
I don't know. Maybe they are going to maybe create another allocation for that.
Do you think this is a political statement?
That's why we said that this administration, we can't take them for their word. It's not new. Even ASU complains sometimes. So many things, even the subsidy issue. There's so many. Even up to the last, the reps are not happy. because of what they signed is different from what the government is setting. So they are not happy. So with all this now, how do you now have the trust in the government? How? If there's a glitch, you could say, oh, sorry, we will just go back and reset it and everything is fine. But it's being hidden to let you know that it's purposefully done. So the same thing now, we have an agreement signed on paper. Let's see the implementation first. So the moment we see that implementation, because for them to have signed it, that means they have the means to achieve it. So let's see them start this next year, January ending. By ending of January, the lecturers are saying, okay, we have seen that the government has fulfilled the agreement. Everybody is happy. But for now, we just hope that the government will fulfill their own side of the bargain.
You're taking it with a pinch of salt for now. Okay, now lastly, for ASU achieving anything also has become a problem because of discord within its ranks. There are a few other organizations, even within the academic sector, that if some are saying we are downing tools, others are saying no, we will not down tools. In fact, institutions exempt themselves from strike sometimes, especially state-owned institutions. They sometimes just exempt themselves from strike. How will that impact on ASU, trying to make government enforce these agreements in case there is a breach?
No. One thing is this.
Is there something you want? Is there something you're proposing that should be done differently to ensure that there is a more unified front?
You see, that is why some people say politics is a dirty game. Because a politician wants to have their way, and many of them will do everything possible to have their way. So in trying to have their way at all costs, they create a lot of issues all over the place so that they can have their way. So we have that playing all over, even especially in Nigeria, politically, in the political parties, even in grassroots. You see people defending something that everybody knows that is wrong. Even in social media, you see people responding to something that is this person drunk or something. So we see all that. ASU will face that challenge, that the government will try everything possible to keep them bottled, but they still have to continue doing what they are doing, because without their voice, education will have been phased out. In fact, it will have become something forgotten in this country. It will have become like something irrelevant in this country. People will be traveling abroad just to get educated, but their fight, their doggedness, is still keeping education in shape in this country. So I say they should keep it up, because one thing is this, which our politicians have failed to understand. That's why you see most of them take their children out of Nigeria to school.
That's educated.
While some, they take their children out of public school to the expensive private school. You even see governors paying upfront for their children.
Oh yes. Of course.
So see how you see that they value it. But that same money you spent for your child abroad, if you spend it in one university in Nigeria here, it will take care of the problem of one university totally. One governor, the money you spent on your child will take care of the problem of the education in your state.
Oh well, we do hope that this agreement will be abided to. Well, thank you very much, Lawale Kundayo, a farmer, educationist, and a public affairs commentator. A very big thank you also to Archbishop Dr. Bob Manuel for your contribution. And let's not forget Mazi David Uhoma Esquire and Mr. Asim Adams Esquire. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your contribution on the program. Merry Christmas once again. We'll take a break now. When we come back, on the other side, at 10 o'clock, we'll be looking at the papers, headlines, and the stories from the dailies. And we do hope we'll find things to make your day even more joyous. I'm Moses Humphrey. Merry Christmas.
And I'm Fina Okechukwu. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I'm Chukwu Mokoro. See you again at 10 o'clock. Bye for now.
is the most wonderful time of the year. But for us, the technical crew,
it's weird for technical people to be in front of camera, but I just want to say,
now this one they make me come outside every day. Anytime when they call me, I will rush come outside. We no get holiday.
Our holiday is part of our daily routine, and we've embraced it.
I must say, the work is challenging, engaging, and interesting.
We are all families here at VOP, and we the technical crew.
For us, it's another day on the job.
But it's tough being away from family.
But the lighter part of it is that after the work,
we stay connected with video calls and messages. Merry Christmas.
On behalf of the technical crew, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, and here we are, job continues.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Novisha Nelson One, your #1 celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyi Osarate is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging. Picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV. Live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
This year has been so amazing with you in it. And that's why we're saying Voice of the People TV, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we love you.
You've been wonderful all through the year. And this is from us, Voice of the People Television, saying Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to you all. See you at the top.
Voice of the People, you can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.